Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. ProFTPD KeepAlive Explained, a comprehensive guide. ProFTPD, like many other server applications, uses KeepAlive mechanisms to manage idle connections and optimize resource utilization. This tutorial dives deep into ProFTPD KeepAlives, explaining how they work, why they're important, and how to configure them effectively with code examples. What is KeepAlive? KeepAlive, in the context of networking, is a technique used to maintain a connection between a client and a server even when no data is actively being exchanged. It works by periodically sending small, lightweight KeepAlive packets or signals between the client and server. These signals ensure that both ends of the connection are aware that the other is still alive and responsive. Why use KeepAlive in ProFTPD? KeepAlive provides several benefits for ProFTPD. 1. Reduced connection overhead * opening and closing TCP connections for each individual FTP command can be resource intensive, especially under high traffic. KeepAlive allows clients to perform multiple FTP operations over a single established connection, reducing the overhead of connection establishment and teardown. 2. Improved responsiveness * by maintaining persistent connections, KeepAlive enables faster response times for subsequent FTP commands. The connection is already established, eliminating the delay of creating a new one. 3. Preventing idle connection timeout * many firewalls and network devices have idle timeout settings. If a connection remains inactive for a certain period, they may automatically drop it. KeepAlive signals prevent this from happening, ensuring that clients can maintain their FTP sessions even during periods of inactivity. This is especially useful for users with unreliable network connections. 4. Resource optimization * while persistent connections can consume server resources, properly configured KeepAlive settings can prevent resource exhaustion. By setting reasonable timeouts, ProFTPD can automatically close connections that have been idle for too long, freeing up resources for new clients. How ProFTPD KeepAlive works * ProFTPD uses two primary directives to control KeepAlive behavior. Timeout no transfer * This directive specifies the maximum number of seconds ProFTPD will wait for a client to begin a data transfer, example uploading or downloading a file, after the control connection is established. If no data transfer is initiated within this time, the control connection is closed. Timeout idle * This directive specifies the maximum number of seconds ProFTPD will allow a connection to remain idle, i.e., no commands sent or data transferred, before automatically closing it. When timeout idle is reached, ProFTPD sends a TCP KeepAlive probe. If there is no response from the client, the connection is closed. Configuration options and code examples *. You configure ProFTPD KeepAlive settings in the ProFTPD.conf configuration file, typically located in /etc/ProFTPD/ or /usr/local/etc/ProFTPD/. Here's a breakdown of configuration options and examples. Explanation of the code *. Timeout no transfer 600 *. This means that ProFTPD will wait for 600 seconds, 10 minutes, for a client to initiate a file transfer after the client establishes the control connection. If no store, upload, retr, download, or similar command is received within this time, the connection will be terminated. Timeout idle 600 *. This means that ProFTPD will wait for 600 seconds, 10 minutes, of inactivity on a connection. If the client does not send any commands or initiate data transfers within this period, the connection will be terminated. *virtualhostmy.domain.com *. The virtual host block allows you to configure KeepAlive settings on a per virtual host basis. This is useful if you want to apply different timeouts to different FTP servers running on the same machine. Best practices and considerations *. 1. Balancing performance and resource usage *. Setting timeout no transfer and timeout idle too high can waste server resources by keeping idle connections open indefinitely. Setting them too low can cause frequent disconnect ions, impacting user experience and increasing overhead. Experiment with different values to find the optimal balance for your specific environment. 2. Consider network conditions *. If your users are connecting from networks with unreliable connections or high latency, consider increasing the timeout idle value to give them more time to recover from temporary network disruptions. 3. Firewall and router settings *. Ensure that your firewall and router configurations allow long-lived connections and do not prematurely terminate idle FTP sessions. Check for idle timeout settings in your firewall and router and adjust them accordingly. 4. Client-side KeepAlive *. Some FTP clients support client-side KeepAlive mechanisms. Encourage users to enable these settings in their FTP clients to help maintain connections. However, reliance solely on client-side KeepAlive is not recommended, as it's not always guaranteed to be enabled or correctly configured. 5. Monitoring and logging *. Monitor your ProFTPD server logs for connection errors and disconnect ions. Analyze the logs to identify potential problems related to KeepAlive settings and adjust them accordingly. ProFTPD provides detailed logging capabilities, making it easier to diagnose these issues. 6. Impact of NAT. Network address translation NAT devices can sometimes interfere with KeepAlive mechanisms. If you're experiencing issues with disconnect ions when using NAT, consider increasing the timeout idle value or using a more robust KeepAlive solution that is NAT aware. 7. Security considerations *. While KeepAlive itself doesn't directly introduce security vulnerabilities, ensure that your FTP server is properly secured with strong passwords, TLS encryption, and appropriate access controls. Maintaining long-lived connections could potentially give attackers more time to exploit vulnerabilities, so a robust security posture is crucial. Advanced KeepAlive techniques, beyond basic timeout. While timeout no transfer and timeout idle are the most common KeepAlive settings, ProFTPD offers other advanced techniques. *TCP KeepAlive. In mod_core.c this directive enables or disables TCP KeepAlive probes on the control connection. TCP KeepAlive is a feature built into the TCP protocol that periodically sends packets to verify the connection's liveness. It's generally enabled by default. You can disable it with TCP KeepAlive off, but this is usually not recommended. Relying on ProFTPD's built-in timeouts provides more control. *TCP KeepAlive interval, TCP KeepAlive idle, TCP KeepAlive CNT, system-level settings, not ProFTPD specific. These are system-level settings that control the behavior of TCP KeepAlive probes. They define the interval between probes, the time a connection must be idle before probes are sent, and the number of probes sent before the connection is considered dead. These settings affect all TCP connections on the system, not just ProFTPD. They are typically configured in the system's kernel settings, example using sysctl on Linux. Modifying these settings should be done with caution, as they can have unintended consequences. Example, using TCP KeepAlive, generally not recommended. Important note on TCP KeepAlive *. ProFTPD's timeout idle is usually a better option than relying on TCP KeepAlive alone. Timeout idle gives ProFTPD more control over how connections are managed and provides a more reliable way to detect idle connections. Troubleshooting KeepAlive issues *. If you're experiencing problems with disconnect ions or connection timeouts, follow these steps. 1. Check ProFTPD logs. Examine the ProFTPD logs for error messages related to connection timeouts or disconnect ions. Look for messages indicating that the connection was closed due to timeout idle or timeout no transfer. Increase the log level debug, to get more detailed information. 2. Review firewall and router settings. Verify that your firewall and router configurations are not interfering with FTP connections. Check for idle timeout settings and adjust them as needed. 3. Test with different FTP clients. Try connecting to your FTP server using different FTP clients. This can help you determine if the problem is specific to a particular client or a more general issue with the server configuration. 4. Monitor network traffic. Use a network monitoring tool like Dump or Wireshark to capture network traffic between the client and server. Analyze the traffic to identify any dropped packets or other network issues that might be causing the disconnect ions. 5. Increase timeout values. If you suspect that the timeout values are too low, try increasing timeout idle and timeout no transfer to give clients more time to complete their operations. 6. Check system resources. Ensure that your server has sufficient resources, CPU, memory, network bandwidth, to handle the number of concurrent connections. Resource exhaustion can sometimes lead to connection timeouts. Conclusion. Properly configuring ProFTPD KeepAlive settings is essential for maintaining reliable and efficient FTP services. By understanding the timeout no transfer and timeout idle directives, considering network conditions, and monitoring server performance, you can optimize KeepAlive behavior to improve user experience and minimize resource consumption. Remember to always monitor your logs and adjust your configuration as needed to adapt to changing network conditions and user behavior. While advanced settings like TCP KeepAlive exist, they should be used judiciously and only when a thorough understanding of the underlying mechanisms is present. Timeout idle offers greater control at the ProFTPD application level.